Spider-Man.
In just a couple days, we're finally seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. It is a miracle that this movie even exists. In this last video before the movie comes out, I want to go over the early reviews that are insanely positive. I really cannot believe and understate how positive they are. I also want to talk about my final predictions of this movie and also read your guys' final predictions in regards to cameos, plot, etc. Before we do get started with this video, if you guys could hit subscribe, we're on the road to 2,000 subs. If you want to make my dream come true and maybe possibly let me one day go to one of these red carpet events, wink wink, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. I read all of your comments. I most likely will respond. Now let's get into these early reviews. POC Culture says that Deadpool and Wolverine is a fan service spectacular and loving homage to the Fox era Marvel films. The carnage, irreverence, Easter eggs, and cameos, it's every super fan's geek-tastic dream. Marvel Studios completely went for every inch. It's everything you'd expect to be times 10. The cameos, I just can't believe them. Feige and company really and clearly aim to please with this film. I really wish they hadn't spoiled that appearance in the final trailer. Don't watch the trailer if you haven't already. Brandon Davis with Phase Zero, an incredible reporter, says that Deadpool and Wolverine is an insane, bombastic Marvel wet dream. Plenty of surprises, but with epic action, excessive violence, and relentless humor. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds over-delivered. It's a lot to process. I had a blast. And I have to be honest, this is the most non-positive review that I've seen, and I've read so many. Chris Parker with 3C Films says Deadpool and Wolverine lived up way beyond the hype. It seamlessly jumps from a nostalgic cameo-fueled ride to a genuine, sweet, and emotional tribute to the Fox era Marvel movies. It's insane how much was hidden. Funniest MCU movie to date, Sean Levy's action also kicks butt. Wendy Lee Szany says Deadpool and Wolverine gave everything I wanted and more. The story is great, fantastic dialogue, and stellar action. It went so far beyond my expectations. Even with all the action, the movie found these emotional moments and let those breathe. This was perfection. And I'm telling you guys, every review that I've read sounds just like that. It's nothing but positivity, and while it's very hard to just keep my expectations in check with reading reviews like this, I've got to admit, I'm very excited. I've been excited for this movie since it was announced, and now that it's out in just a couple days, I can't contain my excitement. But now let's kind of shift gears and talk about predictions towards the future in terms of what we're going to see in this movie. Starting off with some things that you guys suggested. Lalo TV says, this may seem crazy, but I really feel like they might accidentally end up in the Raimi-verse and run into Tobey's Spider-Man. Listen, this is not an impossibility. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know, probably not, but we do know that Joe's Pizza from Spider-Man 2 does make an appearance in this movie, so Tobey showing up is not impossible. Drimple says, as far as cameos go, I'm betting my money on seeing either Channing Tatum as Gambit or Chris Evans as the Human Torch, maybe even both. Plot-wise, I try not to think about it because I don't want to get my hopes too high. I'm in the same boat as you. I don't want to think too much about this plot because I want to go in completely blind and be surprised by as many things as possible. In terms of your cameo picks, I think it's very likely that we're going to see the Human Torch, maybe even Chris Evans, because the Fox era had those characters and we're all celebrating them in this movie. As far as Channing Tatum as Gambit goes, I would love to see that just because Gambit has become one of my favorite characters as of late, and I've watched X-Men 97, I've read all the old comics, and I'm even watching all of the old X-Men shows. I've got Mutant Fever, and this movie is just going to deliver on that front for sure. Bailey said that I think that X-23 will wear her comic book suit alongside Wolverine, and they also say that I think the X-Men will return in the final battle of the movie. I do think Laura will probably get a Wolverine-esque suit in this movie, considering she's not just a cameo, but she has more of a supporting role supposedly. And yeah, we're getting all these X-Men back, so maybe it's going to be some sort of Endgame tribute where they do all of that with the Fox X-Men characters. I remember theories when Endgame came out that something like this was going to happen, and maybe they're going to do good on that now. Again, I know we're all very excited and very eager to see what's in this movie, but let's try and keep our expectations in check. That way we're blown away when these crazy things do happen. Rewind Releases says, I think they'll show the cut-off head of Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine as the, quote, zombie head that's been rumored to show up. Headpool has been present in some marketing material, and it would be amazing if this was the head from X-Men Origins Wolverine's Deadpool, and I can totally see Headpool being a comedic relief character character that just takes the butt of every joke. Personally, I know we're going to get tons of cameos from X-Men characters and mutants from the original films. We know we're getting cameos from Juggernaut, Sabretooth, Toad, Lady Deathstrike, possibly an older version of Blade. As far as characters that have not appeared in the trailer that I would love to see, of course, Halle Berry's Storm would be great. I think James Marsden as Cyclops would be super cool, considering he never got the leadership role in the movies and never got his time to shine. We also have rumors that Jennifer Garner is coming back as Elektra in this movie, so maybe we even get Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I'm gonna leave it there just because I don't want to speculate too heavy and just name a bunch of people. When some of these show up, I'm gonna say, oh, I was right. But look, with these early reviews, we're in for a treat here, and some of the surprises had not leaked, and they're going to blow people away, supposedly. I cannot wait. Leave your comments down below. I read every single one. I most likely will respond, and I will see you guys on the other side after watching Deadpool and Wolverine.